I'm Sawyer, and you're listening to Our House A to Z.
All right, it's definitely fall. Everybody knows it's my favorite time.
And it's the best month. I feel like October is like the best month of the year.
Well, you were walking. We were walking.
Ooh, look at us. We walking.
We were walking. You were like really walking, and I was trying to keep up. I think that's more. You were like doing a power walk.
I can't power walk. You walk too slowly.
You power walk.
I have to like
old person in a windbreaker in the mall in the morning. That kind of power walk.
That's tempting right now. Sounds really good. But this is the problem. These last couple days have been so hot. It feels like summer walking outside.
That's true.
It doesn't feel like fall unless you wait till like the evening.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's been beautiful.
It has
been. I mean, even the 80-degree days, they still feel like a little drier.
Yeah.
They're like not like summer hot. They're like fall hot.
Anyway, you were getting ready to say that on that walk, I was talking about how
Can you
I
say
love October.
Indian summer?
No.
No.
Definitely not.
It's not PC?
I doubt it. I don't think you can say Indian anything, especially when you're talking about Native Americans.
Yeah. Well, the only reason I think that it's inappropriate is because, like, you know how they say Indian giver? They gave things and then took them back. It's like a deceptive thing. So an Indian summer is like, fooled you, summer's not actually over. It's like a deception thing because they were saying that they weren't honest.
The Indians weren't honest?
Yeah, which is ironic because I feel like the indigenous people were like actually way more honest, and all the deception and manipulation was on the part of the colonizers.
Listen, we don't know. Everything is just stuff we read in history books at this point.
No, I know Indians.
No,
I know
you don't.
indigenous people. I do. Original peoples. I do. And I'm part Cherokee.
You don't know any original people.
Any of our listeners. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what I know.
And the part Cherokee that you are is not like giving you any type of insight.
It is.
Hundreds of years ago.
It is. It is.
No, it's not.
I don't expect you to understand this because you were one of the pilgrims that brought polio over on the Mayflower. You definitely.
Was that the one on the blankets? No, that was scarlet fever, right? Or was that
know.
measles? Which one was on the blankets? That was terrible. And they passed out blankets to all the Native Americans.
Yeah, that was, see?
Not good.
Now that
the Indians should have given back. The Indian giving.
Yeah,
should have happened then.
No, that was a gift they got. Not something that they stole, not something that they gave and then took back.
Well, maybe that's really where it came from.
I don't think so.
The colonizers giving things and taking it back.
I don't think so, but I understand that you don't understand.
Oh my gosh.
And I understand that your ignorance is something you inherited, and so you don't really understand the plight of my people.
Zachary, do you want to go into this right now when you are from the South? Do you want to do that and your family's from the mountains of Tennessee? Do you want to do this right now?
Yeah, the Cherokee
about
tribe,
your history.
the Appalachia
I don't think you do.
Cherokee tribe.
No.
Yeah.
No.
We can do it.
No.
But we'll save it for another day.
You don't want to do that because I'm going to honor you.
We'll save it for another day.
Here.
But I'm just saying we have a Thanksgiving podcast coming up where we're going to go Indians v. Pilgrim.
Native Americans.
Native Americans.
Indigenous people.
Original peoples.
Original
is
peoples.
how I prefer them to be called. Original peoples.
Or just prefer yourself to be called since you are part Cherokee.
Yeah. For my people.
Right.
For my...
Like Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah. Who's that?
8 rhymes with great. I think you called me a liar on national TV.
Oh, jeez.
Well.
Oh, jeez. All right. So we have some holidays coming up. This is the holiday season. I was talking to Jen Source yesterday at a volleyball game, and she was saying how her salon is getting busy because everybody gets their hair did this time of year.
No, she doesn't even work at that kind of salon.
She doesn't?
No.
What does she do? What kind of salon is she at?
It's called Pure Head Spa, and it's like where you go and have your like hair washed.
Oh.
Like a head massage, a scalp massage.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So nobody's getting their hair done. It's
No?
I don't think
man,
so. I think Pure
I'm
Head
way
Spa
off.
is just
Okay, I'm way
it's
off.
just
Massages and
scalp
washes?
massage,
Okay.
wash.
Let's
But
see.
they do other massage
What's
stuff
her number
too.
again? I need a scalp massage. I'm ready.
I don't think she does it. I think she's a receptionist. But maybe
Doggone it.
I don't know. We're
Okay.
gonna have to find more information out. But
I'm gonna ask her.
actually, I think Steven from the school, his mom owns it.
Steven. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
Good to know.
what were you saying?
I was just saying that it's that time of year. Everybody's thinking about Thanksgiving. They're thinking about Christmas.
Oh.
They're thinking about Halloween. They're thinking about Columbus Day. Maybe you're not thinking about Columbus Day, but hopefully you have a
I'm
good
thinking
Monday
about the fact that
plan.
it's a day off.
I know. I'm thinking about bird hunting.
Okay.
I've got a bird hunting trip coming up. I'm thinking about a lot of things. And I'll tell you what I'm thinking about the most is all the Halloween decorations on Smoke Rise Circle. That's what I'm really thinking about.
All right, listen. I'm going to eat my words here. I'm
Okay.
putting my foot in my mouth. They also do haircuts
Yeah.
and facials.
And don't you think that's what she meant when she said all the holidays coming up, people want their hair, they want to get their hair done?
I have
like
no
salon.
idea.
Okay. Styled.
Do they do Brazilian blowouts? People love that.
For the holidays? Is that like a holiday thing? Like I need to get my...
I have no idea.
Okay.
Maybe they just want their hair
I need
nourished.
to get my Thanksgiving blowout. I have a different kind
That's
of
after
Thanksgiving blowout.
Oh my gosh. Why don't you tell
You're
us about
thick.
why don't you tell us about your most recent dietary change, speaking of as we come into the holidays?
Oh, for the love. Okay, so I have given up pork.
Is this part of the
And actually tortellini. But, I mean, that's like a different
That's a
thing.
different story.
Yeah, cheap tortellini.
We've given up pork, but I'm just really proud of you.
Why?
Because I
want
feel
to
like
tell
you usually
our
kind of
house.
like eat with no regard.
I know, but I'm 40. I'm actually almost 41.
I know,
Next
but I've
month.
been saying this to you for a long
1
time.
month from yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, everybody on here knows about the Pop-Tarts and all that
We
stuff.
haven't been talking about pork for a long time. You sent me a Lisa
I didn't-
Bevere
no,
podcast.
No, Zach.
And
Go
then
back.
you were
no,
like, go ahead.
Chata. I said, I've been talking to you about what you're eating for a long time, not about pork in particular.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
And I say you eat with no regard.
That makes me sound morbidly obese, but okay. Yeah. I with no regard for like whether or not our kids have had any dinner yet. I'm like, I eat with no regard
I'm saying
for anyone in the restaurant.
You're not. I'm saying when you order off a menu,
We can't
you're
go
not
out with
thinking
friends
at all
anymore.
if this is like a good thing for me, if it's good for my body,
no,
if
I'm
it's
not. You're
nourishing,
right.
if it has nutrients,
No,
does it have a
100%.
vegetable? You don't think about any of those things. Is this item 100% just chemical, or is it actually food? You don't think
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
about that.
You're right. I mean, you've got that app. I don't know what it's called, but the app that tells you if food is made out of toxic hazard waste or not. And so, Ashley, I don't know if anybody
Hazard
else's wife has
waste.
this, but I don't know how many people go grocery shopping together as a couple. We see people in the store all the time. They're like, "Oh, you guys go grocery shopping together." I guess people don't do that together.
And we don't really. I mean, I feel like I do everything online. It's like when we're running out of some stuff, we'll run across the street and grab a few
Yeah,
things.
maybe
But
that's what
it's
it
not
is.
like full grocery shopping trips.
But you're scanning things left and right, and it's like this food doesn't stand a chance. It's like it's measured on a scale of 1 to 100,
And everything you pick is a 0.
No, sometimes they're in the teens, occasionally the 30s if it has like some like shred of granola or like wheat in it or something. But it's like if the stuff what in your number, your threshold is 50 or 60, something like that.
I think anything over 50 is like fine for like a once in a while.
And
Like
it's measuring things like nutritional value, things like processed, things
Yeah,
like
it has seed oils.
Inclusion of like not toxic, but
toxic
like,
waste.
I mean, not toxic waste, but like, inclusion of
Chemicals,
really
yeah.
unhealthy things.
Yeah.
Yeah, chemicals. So anyway, I listened to that podcast that you sent me and it was like, oh, okay, it's true. You know how like you can know something and hear something your whole life and then one day it just clicks?
Yeah.
Maybe that doesn't happen for
Yeah.
you, but it does happen for me. So I have a brother-in-law, not on your side.
Right.
My oldest sister married a guy who came from a really conservative family, a lot of siblings, and one of their many sort of like religiously influenced family practices was that they never ate pork.
Yep. Now, did they not eat shellfish either? Or you guys, nobody really ate shellfish in the...
Nah, we didn't
Midwest.
really, where we were at, it wasn't a big
Yeah.
thing. I'm not 100% sure on that, but my guess would be no, and for the same reason. But he was never like a Nazi he was never really like, pompous or superior or anything like that. It was just always like this, we choose not to. And then over time, my sister, who's maybe one of the most stubborn people I've ever met in my life,
terrible.
she took on the same practice of not eating pork, and then they raised their kids not eating pork. And so I've known this the whole time, and I love his family. I think they're healthy people and make good decisions, and actually they're all incredibly smart, all homeschooled, and just a great
You're talking about
family.
your brother-in-law
My
and his
brother-in-law's
family, yeah.
But I never really considered it as like I should think about doing this myself. Never.
Yeah.
Never. It's always like that, oh, we're not under the law anymore, so whatever.
Right.
We say a prayer over our meal before we eat it and whatever. But, listening to that Jordan Rubin fella from the Biblio diet talk about pork, and I don't know, it was like all the planets aligned for me to hear it, and I was like, okay, I'll stop.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
And then you start to realize how many things have pork or bacon. Or
yeah,
whatever.
you just can't. It's
like
so crazy.
And I think one of the hardest things to say goodbye to, I know for most people they'd say bacon.
Yeah.
For me, it's going to be prosciutto.
Prosciutto and ham. You love a ham. You love like ham and melts and sandwiches and things like that.
I really love prosciutto.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Because I also appreciated the fact that he was pointing out the whole idea of the Biblio diet. It's kind of orbits around the idea, okay, we know Solomon was the wisest man to have ever lived. He had all wisdom, including things of science and nature and animals and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so here's the smartest guy that ever lived, and we actually are told what was on his table every night for food, what they were eating, the menu from Solomon's household. And in it was bread, it was red meat, it was a lot of the stuff that we have traditionally grown up thinking, oh, this stuff is terrible for you, it's going to kill you.
Right.
So Lisa Bevere's interviewing him and asking about it, and she's like, yeah, isn't this crazy? Like, even things like salt, how long have we been told salt is so bad for you? And then in Scripture, we see salt as only a good thing, really. You know what I'm saying? And the idea that, okay, the only reason why salt is ever considered bad is because of all the other horrible contributing factors in our lifestyles.
Yep. And there's so much garbage in all the processed foods too. So that's, like you said, it's a contributing factor to why salt's affecting you more than it should be.
Right. Well, I mean,
and I think we're also way underhydrated. Like, I think people are underhydrated. You're not drinking water.
Yeah.
Like, all the things that contributes to the fact when your salt intake is skyrocketing and you're not hydrating, like, that's not good for your body either.
No.
But if you think about it, in like biblical days, what were they drinking? We always see wine, but like, you never see anybody, I mean, except obviously the wells, like they're pulling up water from the well. But it's like, oh, they're bringing water to water their cattle or like water their camels or whatever it is. But you're like, was everybody drinking water?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
mean, you have like Elijah by the brook or whatever, so he's had the water provided.
Yeah.
It's just interesting. Or is it such a given that they didn't even talk about it? I don't know.
It is interesting. And I mean, I just think that there are so many bad habits. Why wait for a New Year's resolution or whatever? It's just like start making slightly more healthy decisions. And I guess
make hay while the, what is it?
Sun is shining.
Sun is shining.
Yeah, it's still shining on me. No, one of the things that he talked about with pork, and I think you probably remember it better, but like the difference between a pig digestive system and that of red meat, which again, I was very grateful for the red meat thing because I'm a huge red meat guy.
Yeah.
And would probably eat it almost every day if it was an option. It's not always practical, but it's kind of like it's been painted in this bad light, and like salt, it probably has more to do with other contributing
everything
factors.
else, right? For sure. And I think everything always goes back to, Americans are known for their like excessiveness, and so when there's like no limits to anything, it's like you kind of always go the too far.
Yeah. But talk about that digestive thing, because I feel like people should understand that this is not just like a legal thing. It's not like a religious, like, oh, don't eat pork, so you have a rule.
So this
like
this book that was written, it's called The Biblio Diet, and it's by Jordan Rubin and Josh Axe. The Josh Axe podcast I've followed for a while before this came out, before I heard about the Biblio Diet. And so then I found out he wrote that with Jordan Rubin. And Jordan Rubin, if you have been around the Christian circle for a long time, is the author of The Maker's Diet. So that was kind of like a big thing years ago too.
Sure.
So they're both like super health conscious and have seen just like crazy, miraculous stuff happen in the human body based on just what you're putting into it. I mean, tons of examples of cancer being healed, autoimmune diseases, everyday common things that people deal with, where there's just like a lot of like hormonal stuff for women, low testosterone for men, diabetes healed, amazing things. It's definitely something I highly recommend. But anyway,
which is, by the way, like all of that stuff you just labeled is all stuff that we're so quick to just address with like pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, because we don't know, that's just the easy, it's not easy, it's like a negative thing. It's just like, this is just what you do. It's our go-to.
Right.
We've talked about that before on here, like challenging people on the go-to for pharmaceuticals and things like that. I mean, there's even like a podcast on that pharmakia, which is like the Greek word for pharmacy, and it's all like satanic in the Bible. So it's very like demonic. That's where pharmaceuticals came from. You know, we've talked before about like the snake around the medical staff and all of that. It's really it's
interesting.
It's a deep hole.
It's interesting.
That's very interesting.
And some of that is because these things were considered to have supernatural, like the healing properties in something. Like, oh, you can say, oh, you can go chew on this leaf for acid reflux, you know, or indigestion. Well, back then it was thought to have supernatural power. It was like the witchcraft of it wasn't necessarily because it was only Satanists making medicine. It was the idea that these things had powers. The medicinal properties were supernatural.
Right.
But it is interesting how it has become given supernatural authority over our lives.
Right.
We've given pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, and that's
such
the sad thing, because
crazy-
it's almost like every prescription you're given, it has side effects. And so then you get something else for a side effect. And then you get something else for a side effect from this thing. And it's sad. And I don't think that's the Lord's best for us. They kind of talk about the Old Testament law as not law, but like all of this is recommendations. Like, why did the Lord say not to eat this and not to eat that and do this and not to do that? We talk about it often with tithing, where it's like the Old Testament law are principles that we still live by in a lot of ways. Speaking of scarlet fever, I think that was one of the things that they said, like, if people were following biblical law as principle, like scarlet fever would have never happened. I think it was scarlet fever. Anyway.
Interesting.
That's kind of in the same regard that they talk about the pork thing, like eating pork and eating shellfish. So pork in particular, when they talk about pigs, they're saying that pigs, I believe it was their digestive tract, which they say is made up close to a rat and a skunk. All animals that we don't eat, they're closely related to.
Possum, raccoon.
Like things which you'd consider like, I'd say like unclean animals. Like you wouldn't eat them because there's toxicity in there.
And the reason is because unlike some of these other like game animals like cattle, bison, sheep, venison, even deer, elk, that kind of stuff.
Chickens even.
They're all chickens. Their digestive system is filtering out toxins and they're excreting them. They're disposing of them. Whereas swine, it goes into the meat.
Yeah.
So their body does not filter out the toxin. They've learned to like deal with it.
And they can live like that.
They can live like that.
It doesn't kill them where that would kill anything else.
Right.
I mean, they talk about how like often people actually get like food poisoning and stuff from pork because of the toxicities in it.
Well, what's so wild to me is that, I mean, and he talked about that experiment that I think everybody should hear just because it's so really like gross. Sobering. But he said
nobody thought they were logging onto our house today and having having to hear this story.
Sorry, guys. But as an experiment, they stacked 5 pigs in cages on top of each other vertically. So each one's in a cage on top of the other one, 5 high, and they only fed the top pig, and they all survived.
Yep.
Which is
they can all live like that. They can live stacked like that with just the top animal being fed because everything just falls down to the next cage, and they can eat that and survive.
Yeah.
Not the food falling down.
No.
Just to clarify.
The
excrement
the other end.
Coming down.
The poo.
The poo. So it's a pretty gross thing.
Right.
It is a pretty gross thing.
Because it makes you wonder, like, sometimes we think, like, why did God make these rules? Like, why did the Old Testament have this stuff? And it's like, not every animal was created equal in the sense of the nutritional value of its meat. And in the same way, the ceremonial cleansings.
Yeah.
Like, people were washing. There were laws about what to do if there was, like, mold growing on in your house. You do this to try and get it off. And if that doesn't work, then you destroy the house because it was toxic. And they gave it a shot to clean it, and if it didn't, it was going to kill people. It was like, there's all this different things. There's different things to do for skin issues, and I just think it's really important that we don't just disregard it all, but try to understand what was God's heart in this. And if part of that heart was, hey, like I created you to be self-healing, our bodies to be self-regenerating and self-healing, and we're filling ourselves every single day with stuff that actually prevents it from working like that.
Right. And that's why we are where we are.
And that's why we are where we are.
Yeah, no, we talk about shellfish. Like, I love shellfish. I grew up on shellfish. I love a clam boil. I love lobster, crabs, all of the stuff. And that's a hard one for me. Like, that's harder for me than pork is, I feel like.
Interesting.
But they use clams, they use mussels, all those things. They drop them in dirty lakes, really, to clean them out because they purify the water, but they take all the toxins in themselves.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And like crabs and lobsters, they're bottom feeders, you know?
Yeah. It just makes you wonder, why does it taste so good? I don't know. Why is that considered a delicacy?
I don't know. Anyway.
Like, why is bacon like one of the like, is it like because how we like sin?
Maybe.
You know?
I don't know what it is. It's so stressful. But anyway, don't talk about it. But they were challenging like the Christian believer who, you know, were so fast to go say, you know, like go to a pastor or go to somebody and say, I need you to pray for me, like over my health, like pray for me. I want a miracle. But we're not even following like what the Lord's laid out scripturally for us to be doing. And in addition, we're eating like garbage. Like people are treating their bodies horribly.
Yeah.
We're not exercising. We're not eating well. We're not hydrated. All of these things. And it's like, we want the Lord to perform a miracle and fix us and all of these things while we're making bad choices.
Right. But I think there's like grace to learn.
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
And to grow and you
Of
know,
course.
we don't always like promote a podcast on here or anything, but I'm only talking about this one because I feel not this like deep, like urgent conviction to do this, but it was like okay, like I could probably go without that.
Yeah.
And then you realize, oh, this is a little tougher than I thought, which also has you thinking maybe it's more important. Mm-hmm. Like the fact that it's so prevalent in America to just like eat like this, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody should be legalistic about it.
And I think that's not what the Lord wants for his people. I don't think that in the one life that you have to live here on earth, you're supposed to be suffering like physically with all sorts of stuff. And obviously there are certain things that don't fall into these categories, but the majority of things actually do.
Right.
It's choices that we're making. And so I think that you should just be encouraged. I don't think it's to be overwhelmed. I think it's looking at like one thing at a time and saying like, oh, okay, can I change this?
Right.
Can there be something like, all right, this is hard, it's expensive, but one of the best things is that now you can get health food in way like anywhere. Yeah. And it didn't used to be like that.
No,
like years ago, you'd have to go only, I mean, when Whole Foods first started coming out, they would be like, oh, you have to go to Whole Foods, and it was so expensive. Oh my gosh,
remember that comedy routine on Whole Foods? I don't know if I can even say the guy who did it, but oh my gosh. That was hilarious. We listened to it on the executive retreat. Oh my God, that was so fun. But there's a lot of great Whole Foods jokes out there.
There are. But anyway, there's a lot of places now that you can go and there's better options for food.
And what a difference. I mean, so I had also thrown out that whole thing about tortellini. Mm-hmm. Somehow in 1 week's time, I ate the same dish at the same restaurant twice. And the next day had like a mind-splitting headache all day. And which is so funny because the first time I ever noticed that I got a headache from anything like that was ravioli at one of the North End restaurants in Boston, which actually was not like probably cheap. It was probably like homemade and everything, but I don't know, maybe not. I don't know. I want to believe that for one of those restaurants. But anyway, so I have a lot of things I need to swear off, a lot of things I need to change. So we'll just start there. Anyway.
Yeah, we're just going to start there. Anyway, I would recommend like either getting the Biblio diet book. I know not everybody wants to do that. Not everybody's a reader. But even if you just want to listen to like a couple podcasts on health and kind of like getting a little bit better at choices and things like that, I would definitely highly recommend the Dr. Josh Axe podcast. And he and Jordan Rubin do that Biblio diet podcast. And I think it's awesome. So I think it's good for the Church of Christ. I think there's a lot of things the Lord wants us to accomplish. And if we're very sickly and just struggling with our health, it's very hard to focus on anything else when we're under such physical stuff, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway,
Good.
So that's it. We didn't even plan on talking about that today.
No,
I don't know how that came up. I don't know.
Is there anything else you want to cover?
Oh, Thanksgiving. You said Thanksgiving and we got there. So anyway, good thing there's a turkey at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. No pig with the like apple in its mouth.
No.
Yeah.
No.
All right.
We're going to have to talk to Steve about this. He doesn't like turkey. He wants a ham.
Steve who?
Paiva.
Oh, he does want a ham? They're Italian.
You need to talk to him.
They may have different digestive systems,
He likes the big antipasto on Thanksgiving, too.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Anyway, Our House, Friends, and Family, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next Friday on Our House.
This is Messer. And I'm Willa. This is Our House from A to Z. Thanks for coming over.
Well, isn't that special?
Lock the doors.
Am I in danger at all?